Hey guys, I'm going to be talking about Double IE Jhin. It is something I came across in a Reddit post by Yang Zera, who is a low masters high diamond Brazilian Jhin main. I'm going to be posting a link to his post and his stream in the comments section and description below. So first off, I'm not going to be getting into too many details and the maths and efficiencies and everything of the build because it's just going to make the video way too long. But I am going to give a summary of the build, how it works, how it performs in game, and how to use it if you're interested in trying it out. Alright, so let's start off. I did testing with the build by myself because I wasn't sure how reliable the stats from the Brazilian server would be because I noticed the strengths of the build but also the weaknesses, so I assumed people on the Brazilian server wouldn't be abusing the weaknesses. Like if a Jhin on the enemy team builds IE, you should be able to abuse his weaknesses, so maybe it's something specific to the server compared to EU, Korea, or NA. But I've been trying the build a lot myself on the NA server, and I've gotten my account from Platinum 1 to Diamond 2 in about 4-ish days or 5, with like maybe 30 games because I didn't play a lot each day, but just over time I've been winning around 95% of the games. And at the same time, I'm pretty sure it would be a 100% win rate if I just played a little bit better in the games that I had lost. So it's really good right now. So first off, let's start with the pros and the cons of the double IE builds. The pros is that it gives you a ton of damage. And I would personally say one of the biggest problems with Jhin right now in the meta is that he's one of the lowest DPS ADCs in the entire game because his kit is a combination of utility and damage, and it makes him really weak for solo carry in high elo. But this build fixes that by focusing all about damage. And it has really nice scaling because it's crit, and not only does it scale very well, but it scales very well in terms of damage as well. So not only do you get a lot of damage when you build the two IEs, but past that you get more and more AD. It also really helps you to push your leads, so if you get a big lead, like maybe 3 kills in lane, or 6, or 2, but you have a lot of farm, investing your gold into the double IE guarantees that you have a lot of damage to abuse your lead, and also you're going to scale really well just in case your teammates throw the lead, or you throw the lead, or anything like that. Alright, now we're going to go to the cons of the build. The cons of the build are plenty. So you have less mobility. You won't be getting the passive movement speed from your Zeal items because you get your Zeal item way later into the game. And you won't be getting attack speed for a long time, and attack speed from the Zeal items is what allows you to go zoom whenever you crit. You'll also be missing out on the utility of the extended auto attack range for rapid fire, the wave clear efficiency of Static Shiv, and also the shielding of Phantom Dancer. You'll also be put into awkward recalling, so for example, if you die in lane, or you get poked really hard, or you misplay, or you farm poorly, and you end up recalling with like 700 gold, 500 gold, 300, 400 gold, there will not be a single component that you can buy for IE compared to a Zeal item, or if you have 300, 400, 500, whatever, you usually can always buy at least something for the build, which will give you a little bit of stats. So you really need to be farming properly and not making too many mistakes just so you don't get put into those awkward recall timing situations. Now let's get into the item and the room page, and then I'll be explaining how exactly you want to play, for example, what playstyle you want to use with it. So first off, for the item build, you're going to be going double IE, rapid fire, then 2 situational items. The 2 situational items is purely whatever you prefer. I personally prefer Bloodthirster and Lord Dominic's Regards because it gives you survivability in the late game, and it also amplifies your damage by a lot. Now I know what you guys are going to be saying, why don't you go IE Essence Fever in the first place? But the reason why you don't do that is because Essence Fever gives you 15 less AD, and it gives you 20% CDR instead of the AD. And in my personal opinion, that 20% CDR on Jhin is useless in Season 9 because you don't even spam your ult that often. You used to spam it to one-shot people at full HP in Season 6 and Season 7, but they nerfed him a lot, so you don't really benefit that much in solo queue at least from the CDR. Now for boots, I go Swifties when I'm low on gold and I need my tier 2 boots ASAP, and I get Zerkers if I have a lot of gold and I want to get my tier 2 boots. I prefer getting tier 2 boots after my first BF sword or after BF sword pickaxe because you're going to be really immobile in the early game with this entire build, so that helps you mitigate the weakness that the build has. You can build Ninja Tabi or Merc if you want, but I prefer to build these two personally. So next we're going to go into the room page. You're going to go Fleet because it gives you on-demand movement speed whenever it's recharged, and it's going to help cover up the weakness in this build, which is being immobile. That 12% lifesteal from Bloodline is going to stack really hard with your AD, and it synergizes really well with the overheal because you're going to recharge the overheal shield really quickly. You're going to take cut down if they're building a lot of HP items, and you're going to take coup de grace if they're not building HP items. And what this means is that no matter what type of champion, don't try to think about the champion like, oh, it's a Riven, she doesn't build tanky. Try to think about, oh, it's a Riven, she builds damage, but she does build a Black Cleaver and a Sterix, so she's going to have more HP. That's the right mentality to have to help you choose which rune. Next, you're going to be going Sorcery, which is Gathering Storm and Absolute Focus. It's going to essentially just give you a lot of AD for your full AD, IE stacking build. Absolute Focus only works when you're above 70% HP, and since you'll have a lot of AD and lifesteal from Bloodline, you won't have a problem saying above 70% HP for most of the game. I also know some of you guys are going to be saying, why don't you take Inspiration? It's OP, every ADC in the game is taking it, but at least for Jhin, Gathering Storm and Absolute Focus at 10 minutes will give you anywhere between, I would probably say, 11 to 15 AD, depending on how well you're doing in the game, and that scales. So it's the same gold, it's actually better gold value than getting boots on Jhin from the inspiration tree, and it scales harder too. So at least I think for Jhin, he benefits more from sorcery than inspiration. Okay, so why does double IE Jhin work? Well, it works because Jin's damage overall is pretty low for carry potential compared to like Vayne or Kai'Sa. So getting the double IE rush just gives you a ton of raw AD to the point where you can easily solo carry your games once you get a lead or once you get farmed. And how does it work? Well, you get the 80 AD plus the 80 AD plus the 25% crit chance and the other 25% crit chance in both IEs. You just combine them together, combine them with your sorcery runes, you combine them with Jin's AD per level, and then you combine it again with Jin's passive. So it just generates so much AD from so many different sources to the point where at 30 minutes it's normal to have like 700 AD more or less. At 20 minutes you'll have around 400 AD more or less, depending if you're behind or ahead. And it gives you like anywhere between 100 to 300 extra AD compared to the other builds. So at minute 20, 25, you actually get an extra 100 to 150 AD on average compared to the other Jhin builds. And in the late game, I would say you can easily reach 900 AD, while most late game builds will give you maybe like 700 or 650. So now we're going to start focusing on how to use the build in your own games. One thing you need to understand with this build is that you are extremely immobile. You are essentially a glass cannon where your main source of damage is going to be your auto attacks. It's going to be very easy to catch you because you don't have mobility or utility from the other builds. And you basically need to just position, pay attention to all of the enemies, and just auto attack your way to victory. When you're playing this build, it is very important that you focus on your positioning and being efficient with your auto attacks. And yeah, I believe that is all of the information you will need about this build, how to use it, why it's good. Hopefully you guys found this video helpful. I will be catching you guys next time. And for people who are interested, I'm going to be attempting to climb to Challenger with this build. We are currently in Diamond 2 with a 95% win rate in the past 30-ish games. So if you guys want to watch that, I recommend checking my channel. So yeah, I will catch you guys next time, and take care everyone.